Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Debbie.
Hello.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Andrea. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
So, if anybody's wondering why we always put Kim below, they're like, why is Kim always on the bottom? What's up with that? That's because she's always the last one in the room.
Sorry.
So everybody here will know.
I'm a diva.
Yes. Everyone here will know that if she's ever up top, she was one of the first ones in the room. So, yeah.
That'll never happen.
It's not going to happen. It's not.
It's okay.
She's fashionably on time. Exactly.
Oh, exactly on time. Beautiful. Love it.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, well, welcome to Women Empowering Women. And I just have to re-say, this is my favorite night of all the live streams that we do.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's always such a uplifting and kind of just big energy, right? It just feels
fascinating.
Yeah.
And we can sometimes we see a message that all three of these women bring through.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be very interesting today because you guys, the three we have today, are very, very different from one another.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting to see if our spirit teams can draw a connection.
Yeah. They're all heavy hitters, though, in their own right. You know, they really are. May have made impacts of different kinds, but
yeah. And it's a history lesson too.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
It is.
There's one tonight I read about that one of you fine ladies picked, and I was like, I don't know anything about this person. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It was Debbie's pick.
All right. Because
I'm like, what?
What? Yeah. Very
really,
interesting.
Really good. Yeah.
So I'm interested. I can't wait to get to hear from her. And so without further ado, should we just jump in, or we have more to say?
Let's do it.
We can jump in.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
And of course, I'm loving everyone in here. It's just sending out love and light and hugs I'm seeing everybody popping in. So welcome. And love to hear from you in the chat as we're reading these powerful women in their own rights.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and jump in, and it'll be interesting because we start with you, Andrea.
Okay. Tonight. It is exciting because each woman we picked is just completely different from the other one. So I picked Britney Spears.
And here we go.
And the reason I picked Britney Spears is someone did mention it yesterday on Sunday when we were doing the coffee show. I listened to her talk today, or her speech to the judge today. It was quite moving and very upsetting actually to listen to. So I thought we'd pick Britney Spears because I think she might be a woman that needs our help. Maybe she needs to be heard through what we find. And maybe we can all send her support she needs. So she's 39 years old. Since her mid to late 20s, she's been under conservatorship. She has not been allowed to make her own decisions. In so much so that her father had her get an IUD against her wishes, so she can't get pregnant. She can't get married. She can't drive a car. She can't go on vacation when she wants. She cannot do anything. Even her body has been violated with rules. I find this outrageous. Now, I don't know all the circumstances, but that sounds pretty strict. My big concern is that if she is in need of mental therapy or medication or whatever it is, that's fine. If you're her parents or her guardian, you want to make sure she's okay, taken care of. But why does she have to perform for years, over a decade, putting on shows, all these tours and stuff, if she's so whatever the word is, right?
Yeah.
So she's making all these
incapacitated,
right, in need of help. If she can't make her own decision to go to a store, how can she be in right of mind to put on concerts and stuff, right? So she makes millions of dollars for the record company and her family and whoever else has their hands on it. It kind of feels unfair. That to me feels unfair. She doesn't get to decide. It's all these decisions are made for her. So she was in talent shows and stuff as a little kid. And then I think it was around 10 years old, she got into the Mickey Mouse Club. And since then, she just like skyrocketed, right? So she's obviously a famous singer, one of the biggest names, right, in pop music.
Mm-hmm.
And I just listened to that tape today of her talking to the judge. I was like, oh my God, because she sounded pretty together. Mm-hmm. But she just said, I'm so angry. I'm not allowed to do anything. And she goes, they make me have therapy sessions at a place where there's tons of paparazzi. I've asked them many times, can we just have it in my house so I don't have to be embarrassed and have my picture taken? I mean, this is unbelievable. So I just feel like this girl is being controlled. Woman, now a young woman. What is there we're supposed to know? Are we supposed to know anything?
Right.
What is the story here? It feels very, if you hear this, you think I'm talking about hundreds of years ago where a woman has no choice. She is locked in a castle or whatever, like a princess, but she has no say over her life. And everything about her is decided.
Or another country where they have, these kind of religious, tend to keep women down through religious pretense. But also this is happening not just in the United States, but in California. This judge is in California.
Exactly. And correct me if I'm wrong, Lucienne, who is with us in the house tonight. It is super hard to put someone on conservatorship, number one. Number two, to keep them on conservatorship is another mountain to climb. And then to do all these things like IUD and all these other crazy things. Are we in America? I mean, that's hard to do. And it's playing out on a global scale. Everybody sees it right out front. It's confounding to me. So maybe Lucienne has some feedback with that, but I just, when I worked, it violates HIPAA laws big time for sure. All the things they're doing. And when I worked in the hospital, to try to put someone on even a 3-day hold was like pulling teeth. A 14-day hold, we had to have a judge come into the hospital, and you'd have like a whole little thing right there in the hospital room in regards to trying to put this person just on a 14-day hold. And we're talking major psychosis going on here.
Right.
So this conservatorship and doing all this,
something feels off.
It feels a little
wacky. Yeah.
But I know that there's more psychologists that are in our chat family. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it has been a while. I've been out of the gig for a minute, so maybe it's changed, but I don't know. Wow. Confounding. Follow the money, Arlene says.
Follow the money. And, again, if they just kept her quiet at home and she wasn't doing anything for the last 10 years and just and living a quiet, calm life, okay. But to put her out on stage and to put her, that's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucienne says I'm not wrong. So it's, okay. Yeah.
And she said, I'd like to get married and maybe have another child. And she's not even allowed to do any of these things. I don't know what I'm listening to.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
See what he has to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this is shining a light on something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, if her diagnosis is bipolar or schizoaffective, are you kidding me? Like,
then why would you put her under the stress?
It doesn't even. But I mean,
in Vegas for years, multiple shows a night.
People can function with that. You don't put them on IUDs and conservatorship. Unless you're in danger of yourself or wanting to kill somebody else completely all the time or whatever. It's just like, this is highly unusual. Okay. I am a paycheck for hundreds of people. And it's coming out right in front of us. I just, messed up.
And she even said, I don't mind having to go to therapy, but can I just be once a week and can it be in my house? Like, can I have some?
Right.
I mean,
that should be a no-brainer. It's like a shitstorm. I don't know if you got your Braun card, Andrea, but I'm telling you, I mean, it's like that snake coming around and biting its own tail. They're creating this worse. If she's already has mental challenges, emotional challenges here, this is making it worse, right? That's for sure. I mean, when I step into her energies, it's kind of like they could play this out so much better for her. But it's making her worse. It's making her more depressed, anxious. Can you imagine if Holly says, I have a bipolar daughter and I know what happens. The medicine has to be adjusted. Yes, but you adjust it and you work. I mean, you don't imprison them. And I don't know.
So they've got her against her flow. Like, she's not clearly right. She had to surrender to their strength. I see disruption and medication. I think the medication is actually not helping her. It's probably making her a bit more docile so she doesn't argue with them, doesn't try to get her way. It's a way of controlling her. I'm not saying she doesn't need some medication. I'm not a doctor, but
right. I mean, we're not against the medication.
Yeah, but they're subduing her so that she performs. She's like this performing monkey or whatever. I don't know. Money machine.
Right. Someone said something here that I thought, who was it? I totally, it went by so fast. It's a form of, Dorian. She says it's a form of human trafficking in a sense.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I feel like that. So I'm getting a lot on the father. I keep hearing that repeatedly. And also that there was a point, but I feel like it was literally decades ago where she was, it looked like she could kind of, she was suicidal. She feels like she was kind of ready to walk away from everything. And
she froze.
Sorry. Her father is very bright in a kind of maniacal way, and I don't mean any offense to her at all. She's clearly a very talented person, but as far as smarts, she's not like him. She's not like him. She
froze again.
Sorry, she's not educated. She's uneducated. She's not very, she clearly has intelligence, but she just doesn't know a lot about the law and about these things and it doesn't really even know where to go or what to do. So I feel like they've taken advantage of that in her and used.
She's not calculating.
This father can use his smarts in a big way against her. So, but I also am feeling like this is about money. This is about money. He makes sense of it in his own mind. Like, well, she won't have anything when she's older if I don't take care of this money, and her kids won't have anything. But it's about him, and it's about them, and it's about the family, and they all live off of her. And he won't allow her to throw it away. It's in him, but he's made a story in his mind that makes it okay.
How much money do they?
It's not okay.
Oh.
But he's in his mind. He's made this okay. He's protecting her in some weird way from herself, and she's just not sick like she was anymore. But he can't. He doesn't want to give up that control. He's got control of everything, and I feel like there is a lot of money she's going to find is not accounted for. I feel like it's gone. I do feel like there is money put away and there's money there, but I do feel like the whole portion that's like, it's gone. I do feel like this is going to end up in court in some circus of a give me my money back kind of thing.
He said to the judge she'd like to sue her family for what.
Yeah, I think she will end up doing that. The only thing I would say, and I got this before on my own, when I was doing the live, that she has good representation now. I feel like she's found somebody who is listening to her, knows how to work with the press, knows how to get her story out there. They know what they're doing. They feel very, like us, very indignant about this, very angry about this, and is willing to go to bat for her. So I do feel like that is one thing that has changed. She's got she's got an advocate. She's got someone to speak for her now.
Good.
Thank goodness. Yeah, I see the father. It's all about the money and the decadence, the lifestyle. He doesn't want it to stop.
Exactly.
For the family and the record company too. Let's get real here. She's a money machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's something about bribery too. So I don't know who he's bribed or what has happened, but for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
There's something about bribery here.
I just had the chills on that because I was thinking about this judge who allowed this IUD to be put in. What?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is that not going to come back on you in such a public case?
Yeah, there's something about that as well. There might even be charges or something because it feels like bribery.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, look at it. Look at her. Look at her.
That's it.
It's devastating. And her challenge is finding the help she needs. You have the two ones in reverse. Finding that help. Finding the outcome is a little bit of a road for her.
Mm-hmm.
However, that being said, there's some hope. You have the 9 of Cups there, and then the 4 of Pentacles, which means she's going to have her money back, and in a good place. So let's pray that in for her.
Yeah. This feels like the beginning of something, though. It feels like the beginning of some kind of big fight, kind of a fight coming. I feel like this is the beginning.
Yeah,
and I think it is going to be a lesson for a lot of us about what can go on.
That this is going to be it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a fight, but it looks good for her in the end.
Yeah.
She has a lot to heal from. This is, but she has the strength there and the passion to move forward. So
Just asked, where's her mother? And it was like silent. She's silent. She doesn't. So sad. She has nobody up until this point speaking for her, even telling her like what her rights are. What are your rights? As just a human being.
She said some of that when I was listening to it, that she didn't understand everything or know everything either because she's not being informed. Of course, I'm not going to tell her.
Wow.
Right.
Hi, Gina. I'm giving you love and light healing.
Where did someone just say something? Oh.
Is her mother still living with her father? I don't know.
Well, Dorian said the reign of patriarchy is over for the greater good. So this is like it. It's really uncomfortable to hear and see this.
Yeah, and I just really have a sense that the reason it was important for us to tap into this today is to use our power for good and for her. Butch, Tara, blessings to you. Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
that's what it felt. It was like a calling. It was like, how with Marie Antoinette, we collectively, once we figured out what was happening, helped her. To Kim, there's Kim.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
With Marie Antoinette.
Still and smiling.
Yeah.
So when you pause, it's not one of these.
I think this is another example of our sister needing our collective help.
Yes.
And sending her all the vibration and energy she needs for her greatest good.
Yeah.
And also this is a big, like you said, a universal push through a birthing of something new, an awareness.
Women being held down. That's what this is a blatant case of.
Right.
A young girl to womanhood being confined, imprisoned, and told what to do out in public view.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's shift that.
Yeah, we'll shift that.
Okay, Brittany.
Okay. So yeah.
We got you, Brittany. Your sister's got you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Love and light towards her. Yes.
Yeah, love and light too.
Okay, so the next one we're looking at is mine. And I know I'm butchering her name, but it is Jane Queen. Jane Queen?
Mm-hmm.
Queen?
Queen?
Queen? I know that with the Chinese pronunciation of it's usually one syllable. That's how you can. They usually have one syllable. Like her stage name was Lan Ping. So they're usually one syllables. So anyway, yeah. So Jane Queen. So for those of you who don't know who she is, let's talk about her for a minute.
She was put her name on the banner. So
let's change up. Thank you. Keeping me on.
I don't know how to pronounce it properly either. There we go.
Maybe someone can give us a.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say it?
Phonetically correct way to pronounce it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, she was born March 19th, 1914. And died May 14th, 1991. She was 77 years old when she passed. So she's also known as Madame Mao. And she was a Chinese communist revolutionary. She was an actress. She was a major political figure during the Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1976. So about that 10 years. She was the fourth wife of Mao Zedong, and the chairman, he was the chairman of the Communist Party. Okay, so kind of give you a little bit of that, and the parliament leader of China. And like I said before, she used the stage name Lan Ping. So she was an actor before she was into politics. So when she was married to Mao, she served in 1938. She served as the first lady of the People of Republic of China. So yeah, Jimashi actually committed suicide at 77. So we're going to get to that. So yeah, so she was best known for playing a major role in the Cultural Revolution and forming the radical political alliance known as the Gang of Four, which Mao was in. There was 4 of them, and they were central to this Cultural Revolution. So if you all remember this, how do you say that square, Andrea? The
Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square deal. That would be something that she would have been a part of. Well, her husband was for sure, but she's always behind the scenes, doing everything behind. She was eventually arrested for playing a part in the revolutionary, Cultural Revolutionary, the Cultural Revolution. She was arrested for her part in that. So they literally, thousands of students, if you can remember, hit the square. Mao was telling them, this is our chance. This is our time. We need to stop this. At the time, if you recall, there was a huge separation of wealthy and then the poor there, right, in China. And so, and it was getting more and more separate. And they didn't want that to happen because, of course, people were suffering because you have the wealthy and then the not. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how it was going. And so they formed this revolution. And so thousands of people died during this time period. And they kind of held her responsible for her husband died. He died of a heart attack, although he did have Parkinson's. He was in his 80s when he died. He was 45 and she was 24 when they got married. So that's why he was so much older when he died. And because of his death, it kind of swung around. Someone had to, I don't know. I think someone had to take the blame. But anyway, she was arrested and she was initially sentenced to death, but at the last minute was switched to life imprisonment. When she was 77, she was released because of some health issues, and she, at that point, committed suicide. So this is where we're at with her. Did you have more? I think I might have this.
She had a pretty robust life. So she,
many movies,
art,
right?
Like big in the arts, big actress before she got into the politics. Well, she was a bit of a revolutionary back then as well, I think. Like she had pretty strong beliefs. And then she really jumped right in.
And she did play in some big movies as well. So I had the list of them, and now I can't find. I can't find my list of movies, but
it's pretty.
Here we go. Scenes of the City Life, Blood on Wolf Mountain, A Doll's House, and put down your whip were a few of them. So, yeah. So I just feel like, wow, like you said, Andrea, she had such a interesting, full, big life. And then to be released at 77 because of some health issues, and then taking your own life at that point. So I thought it would be, but what a strong character, someone who really rose up out of oppression. And
her just made me angry when I read it on Wikipedia. They don't even know the name of her mother because they think her mother was probably a concubine of her father. And so she was considered illegitimate because it wasn't with his wife. It was one of his concubines. And they don't even have the name of her mother. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have a name.
Yeah.
I'm sure she does, just in Wikipedia didn't even don't know her name. She was probably a concubine.
And her father was extremely abusive too. So, just to boot. All right. Let's see if we can talk to Zhang Queen.
So she is saying, first off, how much she loved her husband, that she thought he was brilliant. She thought she was enamored of him. That's what it is. Because it's not really love. It feels more like I admired him.
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Yes.
And said that he was just so brilliant. And apparently she's saying a wonderful storyteller could really bring things to life and make you want to be part of them, make you want to jump in and be part of it. And could see had a good idea of he had such a strong conviction about where things should go. No doubts, very just knew exactly where things should be, what should be happening, and that inspired her a lot. She's also she's saying they tortured her. She was tortured, and she's saying something about, she keeps going like her neck, or something about her neck. And she's also saying that some of the problems some of the health things she had were because of the torture that she suffered. That's what she's saying. That's part of and that was what, and she had dealt with a lot of pain, aches and pains and things. It was unbearable, she's saying. A lot of aches, when she was released. I don't know why if that was why she committed suicide, but she's just saying it was that the pain was consistent. She had lots of pain from her time in this prison.
To back you up with that, Kim, she's saying that she had told me, that that it was horror. Her imprisonment was horror, and it haunted her. She couldn't get away from the haunting of it, as well as the physical pain, yes, but also the haunting of it. She was, she's going like this. It was haunting, and she couldn't live. It was like she was already dead because she had to retreat so much from the haunting. And she's trying to describe this, and so I'm putting words with it, but she was too haunted. And the physical stuff with it, that also played a part, but I wanted to back that up. So go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to.
Oh, no, that's perfect. And the only thing I would add is that she is saying she was never really afraid. She was more felt angry and then despair. She felt despair, but she never was afraid. She made it made it up in her mind that she's not going to be afraid of these people. She's just going to, get angry. And then once that anger kind of was, I guess, beaten out of her, tortured out of her, she felt a lot of despair, sadness, that kind of thing. But she was not afraid. And I feel like that is one of her messages, is to not, that don't be afraid. If you feel like, if you have conviction about something, if you have, if you believe in something, do it without fear. Go forward without fear. That's what it feels like. So I do feel like that is one of her messages for us.
She's showing me a couple of women that risked their lives to help her while she was. There was times where she was beaten so bad or whatever that they risked their lives to help her because they weren't supposed to, touch her or do anything, whatever. But they risked their lives to help her. She's trying to give them honor.
Oh.
Women helping women. Well, they're Brittany imprisoned in a different way.
Yeah.
And this woman imprisoned in a very graphic. We can imagine or maybe we can't imagine what would have happened in the torture and the conditions of the jail. I pulled a couple cards on her. I had ideation and hunger. She had big ideas, and you see this through her life, how creative she was. Just this hunger and this drive. There's no surprise she made it to the top, right?
Yeah.
No surprise. So she's deeply a driven woman, full of big ideas, ready to act on them. Not just, sitting there she put them in motion. Which, some of us daydream and think about stuff, but let's get it done.
Right. Yeah. No, she was driven.
Yep.
And she absolutely saw so much as a very, very young child that she said that I will never allow this to be me. And then she's in this prison, and she said, I was very dishonored in the prison. And so to me, that says a lot, because I feel like they dishonored her, not only her spirit, but her body.
Right.
Is what she's saying. They wanted to strip her from everything. And so when she was released, she was already dead.
And Deanne, that's such a good point. There's a Zhang and a Brittany in each one of us, and it's true. There's that victim and that warrior, and we just have to channel the right thing. But of course, yeah. She was diagnosed with throat cancer. Okay, that explains.
That's why they released her for
the throat.
Well, that makes sense because her voice was taken, correct?
Right.
And over time, when you no longer can speak for yourself, you're going to start, it's going to come out physically.
Right. Absolutely.
I feel a great sadness. She says there's still so much work to be done. The great sadness is she didn't complete her work, I guess, that she felt there was so much more to be done. I don't know why she keeps showing me Nixon here.
Nixon came to visit. He's one of very few presidents, I think. I read it.
Okay.
Right.
Why is she showing me Nixon?
Maybe that's there's pulling together with the United States, many things.
And so much more to be said and done, but it was broken off, or but also
too. So
that he was, I don't know. It's like you're playing with all these chess pieces, that you have to maneuver, but you're a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she told him some things, or with that meat. I'm not understanding this full story here, but something connected, and because she brought him in when we were talking about not able to speak your whole truth, and all of a sudden, I don't know.
She was trying to extend an offer, but they both ended up going down in flames.
Okay. Yeah.
So there was some type of
cutting short. Interesting.
Yeah, because obviously he and so maybe she had reached out, or maybe there was something that was going to happen.
Like there was going to be some movement, then all of a sudden, okay, so that makes sense. It was just, so that's where that great sadness, you guys, that great sadness, I can't even tell you. Wow. Yeah. They didn't finish the work they started.
I pulled these before. Observer and TikTok. So she is saying, are you going to just sit around and stare, observe, or are you going to get involved? TikTok. What are you waiting for?
Oh, true.
Right.
What are you waiting for? Let's get on it.
Let's get on it.
Well, and man, have we learned that though in the past 4 years that it's taken people to actually hit the streets, to come out of, even during a pandemic, to hit the streets, come out and, stand in line to vote during the pandemic. There is you do have to put your body on the line at some point and make that leap from, observer to activism or to getting active. You have to do it, otherwise.
Yeah. In your own life and on a community.
Yes, absolutely. Right? Yeah.
So you could observe your own life, or you can be active and get.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
She says, our times that we get to be here and on this planet and go around and around, it's not time to sleep. It's time to be active and make changes for continual expansion and enlightenment. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you have to stand in front of a tank to cry out for someone to hear you.
Wow, that's like Britney Spears too.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, I got a little teary on that.
Good night, Gina. Praying for your headache, sending healing energy.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a very interesting read for sure. Interesting.
Yeah, thank
interesting
you.
woman, strong woman.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Heavy, a very, she definitely had that, her energy felt very like she was still going through or working through it and coming to terms with things that felt very heavy.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt very present. I felt like,
sure.
Yeah, you're right. It felt like she's still around or something, like she's still in it, working it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
No plans to jump back into this circle of life.
Exactly.
Okay.
That was very
okay. All right. So now we're moving on to, and I have to tell you, Kim, that this was my pick.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I'm not kidding. And something told me, no, go back. And they specifically took me to Joanne Quinn or whatever. I'm sorry, Joanne Quinn. I can't say her name. And so I chose her instead of the one that you
Well,
chose.
I picked it up where you set it down, so that's okay. So I did pick Mother Teresa. So I'm going to run through her. I mean, she's got a list a mile long of the things she's accomplished and done, but she was born in Macedonia, was then part of Kosovo. That was some part of Kosovo. On August 6, 1910. Her father died when she was 8. At 12, she decided she wanted to be a nun. Of course, we all know what we're going to do at 12, right?
Yeah.
She decided to be a nun at 18. She became a nun, left to go to the convent, never saw her mother and sister again. She had a mother and a sister, and she never saw them again. She moved to Ireland. Then she moved to India. She was struck by all of the poverty and the sickness in India. It really, really affected her. And there she said she received a calling within a calling, which was to help the poor, the sick, and the dying. She left the convent and literally begged on the streets for a year she left with 2 of her uniforms, and that was it. She went out to help the sick and the dying and just didn't know where it was going to go, but she was just following what she felt God wanted her to do. She begged to survive, and she finally received permission and help from the Catholic Church to start what is called the Missionaries of Charity. They help, they still do this today. The people dying of HIV/AIDS, leprosy, and tuberculosis. They also ran soup kitchens, dispensaries, mobile clinics, children and family counseling programs, as well as orphanages and schools. And the members that work for her, or that did work for her, and that work there still, take a vow of chastity, poverty, and obedience. And they also profess the 4th vow, which is the wholehearted free service to the poorest of the poor. And she passed away in 1997, September 5th. I think it was like the same week that Princess Diana died. I think it was the same week. They died like within days of each other, after she visited like just a couple months before. She was canonized and also named a saint by the church. And now she is known as Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Quite a life, quite a legacy. She was, of course, she had critics that thought that the places that she kept, that they had people in, weren't the cleanest. They didn't have, they didn't think they used the medicine correctly all the time. Some of those things. And then there was also the criticism that she did not believe in birth control. She did not believe in abortion, she was not pro-choice. She was Catholic, an old Catholic as well. So we kind of assume those things, but that's her. That's who she was. And I would love to know what she wants to say. And
I just have to say to those critics, get your ass in there and clean up the floor then. Do it yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's it, right? It's easy to sit on the outsides of something like that and criticize, but she had such a profound, the one thing that I think that had to be, first of all, I think she had to have been an empath. She had to have been. The way she felt and could feel the depth of despair and the depth of the suffering of the people on the edges of society is unmatched. I mean, really, she just, walked the walk, as they say. So let's find out what she has to say, what she would like to tell us.
I don't know. I have tears in my eyes.
I know. I'm sitting here watching Andrea.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I just feel her essence and her love and her compassion. It's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
It definitely in the angelic realm. If not an angel herself surrounded, very much like Princess Diana, like we saw last week. So no surprise that they went up together.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought that was interesting and destiny in a lot of ways, just very destined. That we have these two kind of earth angels here with us. It for a long time, the earth felt like a darker place after they left. It just did.
Yeah.
She was criticized because she worked with what India called the untouchables, and she also won the Nobel Peace Prize, had to be convinced to accept. She was the first person to ask for clean towels and sanitary areas. So I don't know where these critics are coming from, but
what I love is that her calling so strong at 12.
That's what she keeps bringing in.
Years old. I know.
Didn't step away from it from 12.
Nope. And she's with this message she's bringing in over here with that is this was her calling, and she was dedicated and unmovable, right? And she always was led from that place of love, that Jesus. She's very connected to Jesus.
Okay.
And walking his steps, literally. She's not negating your calling, though. So if you have a calling and your calling is for women's rights, she's not saying that's wrong. She said, you follow your calling. This was mine. And so if yours is women's rights, get out there and do it full-heartedly. You're here for such a short time, at the blink of an eye. So if you have something to get done or you have a calling to do it. She wants to make that very clear, because every time I come back over to her, she's showing, her heart, her calling, her things that she believed in and was very unmovable, because that was her conviction. Her convictions are her convictions. You have your convictions, step up into them and stick with them. Honor them, honor yourself. Her convictions were her convictions. She's, you know what I mean? So I feel like she's really trying to bring that message in. Stand up for, if you have convictions about something, live those convictions. Do you know what I mean? As long as they're good. You all know what I mean. But that she wants to bring that in.
Angel of magic. So definitely she's seen as an angel. She had that touch, that magic touch to heal. It's her calling. Sensitivity. So bingo on the empath thing. So she was extremely sensitive and sense things in people's emotions. And she just knew where to go. Like you said, walking the earth like Jesus or whatever. She knew where, she could feel where to go. No one told her where to go. She could feel where she was needed to go. And generosity, so giving, brings you abundance. Okay. She had everything she needed and she had nothing. If you want to look at it that way, if you go by today's standards with shopping and buying everything, consumerism, she had nothing. Yet she was so happy. She was so fulfilled. That's abundance. Abundance isn't, I have 5 Rolexes. So her generosity, her giving, her love just fulfilled her. It was really beautiful. No wonder I want to cry.
She and talking about her sensitivity, she's saying she could hear the voice of God. Someone wrote that she wouldn't protest against the war, but she would walk for peace or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They said it better. She said she would not march against war, but she would march for peace. That's interesting. So you're twisting that into, it's kind of like manifesting. When you manifest, you step into that positive part. So you want peace. You don't say, I don't want war. You say, I want peace, right? So.
And she's, first of all, I feel like it feels like, and so people know what it feels like sometimes when these people come through that are so big, they have the big energy. It feels like my chest is like hot. It feels warm. And it feels like, it just feels like there's like pressure or power in there. It's just the weirdest feeling. And I feel like what I feel like, Debbie, and to kind of go along with what you were saying about Jesus, is I feel like she was maybe one of his disciples. She's making me feel like she is saying there are some that walk the earth now. She's saying they'll keep coming back. They'll keep coming back. The messages are the same. She's saying the messages are the same again and again. And the messages are this, and she's saying too that they'll I feel like it's something like they'll kind of embody one of the teachings really profoundly. Hers was all about like kind of helping the poor and the needy and that kind of thing. And there are other ones that come back, and the purpose of their life is kind of to show, here's another one of those things, to show like with Diana, so much love, and that kind of thing. Not saying she was a disciple, but just saying that's they kind of embody these things that Christ taught in like one big lesson through one person, reminding us again and again and again. It's so simple. It's the same lessons over and over again. But you're right. There is this very solid alliance with Jesus. It's very, to me, feels very. But it's a disciple. That's what she's saying. He was one of his disciples, and they walk the earth today.
That's I absolutely.
As soon as you said that, I felt like I had to lie down. Like I was just.
Yeah. It's powerful.
I have to lie down. Like yes. Like I saw she's angel or angelic or something. Well, there you go. How bigger can you get, right?
Absolutely resonate with that.
Oh, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Stop. We can lie down. We know.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
We figured it out. Yeah, because I kept seeing her with Jesus. She kept showing me her with Jesus and walking in his footsteps and doing all this stuff. So I'm glad you got what it was I was seeing.
Wow. And just that oneness of message.
Yeah.
Right? Singular focus.
Yes, that's what she kept doing with this. Yes.
Teresa. Love. And tiny little lady too.
Tiny, yep.
A tiny little lady made such a big difference. So don't ever think you can't.
Yeah.
Do you think at 12, well, maybe she did know who she'd end up being. She might have.
Yeah, Terry was feeling all this too. It looks like the pressure and all. But yeah, this is big energy, and I feel like she's literally kissing our foreheads, all of us.
I just was going to say, she wants to thank us. She wants to thank us.
She's
so all of you in there.
Everybody in the chat. She's pulling your face up and kissing you on the forehead right now.
Saying,
so if you
thank
just
you.
want to sit and allow her to do that, she's bringing healing and light and just pure love. And I just see it just really coming in and infiltrating just into your blood. You'll know it full well, the sense of love that she's leaving.
It's interesting. She's saying that she's saying, like, you know why you're here. That's what she's saying to us. You know why you're here. So, and we do, right? Somewhere inside, we know that we're all here for each other. You know, we're here having this
love one another,
human being, and we're here to love one another and care for one another. That is why we're here. And it can be hard sometimes because people are helping or listening to them or whatever. But that is exactly right. That's why we're here.
And to just be quiet with yourself and figure it out, what it is you're calling. Mm-hmm. What will fill your soul?
Yeah.
Wow. This is overwhelming.
And loving one another can be so simple as to send a note card in the mail to someone. You know, if you feel like you have some physical challenges and can't move or can't get around, a simple note, a simple phone call, simple smile of love to someone who you
a prayer, just praying for someone.
Prayer,
is that prayer. I mean, it's the ultimate you can bestow upon someone. So if you feel like what can I do? I don't have anybody right now, or I am, I have to stay in my house or whatever. Just a prayer. I mean, honestly, that really is, such a gift to someone. So yeah, absolutely. I just feel it is, Andrea, it is when you are brought to tears by the love of someone, it's unbelievable. You just think you cannot help but believe there's more to this than, I mean, when that happens, it's so obvious that there is so much more than that we can see.
Yeah. So soak it up, everyone. Soak it up.
Yeah.
It's a warm, very warm feeling. It's warm.
It is warm,
but it's safe and it's gentle but it's like, oh my goodness.
There's power to it. There's some power to it. And I think that's, if anything, the people that we've talked about that are in this category, that there is a power to love and a power to caring for someone that is, it's off the charts. It really is. There's just nothing is bigger than that. So
yep.
Yeah.
Circle of love.
Circle of love. Absolutely.
What a beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
Wow. I knew it was going to be powerful.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my mic sounds bad. I'm sorry, you guys.
It's going. It's just, we can hear you, but it's a little.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. Something happened to my mic. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure it out. I will.
That's okay.
We all are experiencing Mother Teresa, whether your mic is working or not. So you guys continue the shower of love. She says this energy will be moving in the next few days within all of us gathered here today, and whoever comes and watches this later, you will also receive this blessing from her, she says. And please, she says, please continue this loving one another however you can. And that will change the globe, change the world. So thank you.
Beautiful. I know. I feel like we always end up crying on the show.
But it's good. It's power. It's
happy tears for sure, but it's powerful. It really is. I really got to take a nap after this.
It's just so pure, and
That's it.
it's so
That's it.
pure.
That is it. That is it.
It's like that hug you've been wanting, and that hug that is that all-knowing, unconditional love hug.
Yeah.
It is. And that feeling of just everything's okay. It's all okay. It really, really is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for another amazing Monday, Women Empowering Women Ladies Night. All are welcome, whether you're a lady or not.
Lady
And,
guys.
The Sabi Psychics. Yes, love peace. The Sabi Psychics.
I love doing the show with you both, ladies. Thank you so much.
You too, Andrea.
And all of those who join us. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Really special.
See you all next
Bye.
Monday, but we'll share that later.
Yeah,
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Love you. Hugs.
Hugs.